So the journey has commenced. We're en route to Portsmouth. No, we're not. We're en route to Plymouth, and we board the ferry in about an hour and a half. So we're heading down sooner just because we've got the animals, and we thought the sooner we get there, maybe we can get situated in the cabin. I've got the AHC, Animal Health Certificate, and I've got both of their vaccine records and my passport, and they're doing really well so far. I'm regretting Remy's bag because it's a bit soft, so it's not keeping its shape, so he's a bit all over the place. So one cat is Soundo. Cleo's having a bit of a hard time, aren't you, my love? Aren't you? She's been a very good girl. It's hard for them though. Not for him though, he's chilling. Great journey from Bodmin. Feeling quite nervous now. It's all beginning to dawn on me what we're doing. And I'm excited, but I'm so nervous about the crossing and the travelling tomorrow with the cats. I'm just worried for them, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I get like this with travel anyway. I'm not a great traveller. So we're through. The cats passed their test. Literally just a certificate check. And what is the word? Microchip check. It's all for rabies, which is silly because England's a rabies-free country, or the UK I should say, but they still make you do all the vaccines, get the chip sorted, etc. I've allowed Remy to get out of his bag because he has a lot less space than Cleo does, so I thought it might be nice just for him to have a little bit of a little wander in the footwell. Leon isn't with me. I think I'm in the pets lane, which of course he won't be. What we've done is sort of halved the things that we're going to need in the cabin. So I've got the cats, which are not the easiest to juggle. Remy will be in his backpack, which I can wear on my back. Cleo will be in a handheld carry case. So I gave Leon the litter box and the food and what they need to drink out of, etc., so that I'm not carrying all of it. Remy. Oh, he's just so entertained. Oh. You gonna go back in your bag? Still in the queue. Just talked to Leon on the phone. He can actually see the car, but he's quite a ways behind. And I think that's because they board people with animals first, so that you get a chance to get your animals into your cabin and get them situated before the rest of the passengers get on. Would we have done anything differently up to now? Just been chatting with Leon. It's one of those things. I wish we had the visas. I just wish more than anything else that we had those visas. That's the only thing left that's really weighing on my mind. But I'm feeling so confident that we'll be successful this time that I just have to keep, bringing that to the forefront of my mind and not overthinking it, essentially. The 90 days starts to tick down from tomorrow, so I need to make sure that we're ahead of the curve. We couldn't get an appointment at the bank until a week Wednesday, and that will be the last thing I need for the DREETS application. They have to have proof of funds, and it's got to have your listed address, which has to be a French address, and it needs to have both of your names on it. So we need to open a joint account, and they didn't have any appointments until next week because it's August and all the French are on holiday. It just means I get an extra week to finish up my business plan and submit it. Oh, there's a police officer coming. I'll hang up. Just boarding the ferry. Thought I'd take you guys along for the ride. I've been sat in that queue for an unearthly amount of time. It is now 20 to 10 and we're meant to embark in 20 minutes. Oh, the cats are waking up. They've been sound asleep this entire time. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Marshall that side. No, this lane first. It's a bit tight, and I'm going to get the blooming cats out. I don't know where Leon is. I'll have to find him later. Oh my life, that was intense. I had Remy on my back in the backpack. I had my actual backpack on my front, and then Cleo in her box. And then I climbed 6 flights of stairs. Cats are just exploring now, and I've told Leon the cabin number, so he should be coming up shortly. But yeah, really happy with this. Look at the big window. I paid extra for a window because I like to think that if something awful happened, I could get out. Please don't leave any comments telling me how well, not unlikely, impossible that is. Are you having a little explore, babies? I am exhausted. Oh.
Votre attention, s'il vous plaît, les cabines au pont numéro 8 sont prêtes, sauf les cabines commençant par les 84 ou 85, les 8400 et 1800.
So I thought that this was a hat, and I thought, oh my word. I mean, I have a big head. I think I've already mentioned it on the vlog before. Let me just get myself in focus. But I'm thinking, why would they? Because this came in like a pet pack thing. It's a water bowl. You fill it with water for your animal. Anyway, put their little beds there so that they can go in and stay cozy. Oh, Cleo loves being on chairs under tables, although that table's not big enough for her. Aww. They are the best animals. They're so chill. Hopefully we'll never ever have to do this again, Cleo. And Cleo, at your service. Poor Remy's desperate to look out. I don't think she's sharing that window with you. She doesn't look like she is. She might make you walk the plank, Remy. So, I look like Medusa. Oh dear. It's not giving the mermaid vibes that I imagined. I've got dreadlocks. It's been a busy few days. That's it for now. I'll check back in after I've had a shower and once Leon is with me. He has passed the checks with the van, which is really good because he had one of my favourite indoor plants in the car and I thought they might confiscate it, and it wouldn't have been the end of the world if they had, but I really want to keep Russell because I love Russell. He's a fabulous houseplant. Anyway, the plant is still in the van, so that's good.
Well, it's a biscuit, cats. Give them to biscuits now. Piggies.
So the music started to go off at just before 6. Quite nice music. And we're now getting ready, so it's an hour before we dock in Roscoff. So we've just had a shower and I've finally washed the salt out of my hair. The cats did really, really well. Cleo's a bit nervous still, but Remy was loving it, wasn't he? What do you think of the whole experience then?
I really liked it. I like the chips. I like the noise, the vibration. I'm really happy with just cozy bubble. And it was quite cool in here, so I enjoyed a nice cool sleep.
Yeah, they're comfortable rooms, perfect for your animals.
Good views.
They're serving breakfast now, but our initial plan was to meet somewhere when we arrive in France and get breakfast, which isn't as good a plan as having something now, because if we had something now we could just hit the road for a few hours without stopping with the animals, but I don't want to leave them in the room by themselves. I don't know whether one of us should go to the cafe.
Yeah, I think I want to get some croissants.
Oh, so French, getting croissants for breakfast now.
We're in France.
Good crossing, good experience, really good experience using the animal room.
Onto the ferry. So once we got onto the ferry, it was like a relief. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. It was, as you say, hot, and aside from cups of tea and coffee, I didn't really make sure I stayed hydrated. But thank goodness we brought a bottle of water to the room. So we've been... Oh yeah, I had quite a bit. But I definitely need to have more because I had loads before I went to bed. And I never got up for a wee in the night, which tells me that my body was like parched. There's our cabin view. Don't see any land just at the moment. I feel seasick in that when I've got my eyes closed, I can't, it feels like the ship is rocking back and forth, and I start to feel so poorly. But then when I've got my eyes on the ocean, I'm thinking, how can I feel seasick in that? It's flat as a pancake. But that is seasickness for you, and I actually forgot to get anti-sickness tablets. I could have really done with those as I was falling asleep, because yeah, I felt pretty rough. Oh, there's a boat. Leon's gone to get some pastries because we were thinking maybe a hot breakfast would be best, like a big, my sister calls them belly buster breakfast. But we don't want to leave the cats in here really, especially Cleo, she's a bit nervy. And you can hear dogs and people in the corridors and stuff, so he's gone to go just get some easy to eat, transportable breakfast things. Hopefully we can have those in our room before we head down back to the car. The cats ate pretty much all night because they're little piglets. Oh no. He's a little menace to society. Oh, you can look out. Did well, 2 cups of tea with milk and 2 pastries each. Remy's now playing with one of those that he knocked off the side. Absolute menace to society, that cat. So we just had quite the experience at the customs. So I was getting off the ferry and Leon sent me a message and said I've been pulled over. They said, what's in the van? Open the van. And Leon said it's part of a house move, and they went, right, we're going to tax you VAT on everything in that van. When I got to the customs window, I could see the van pulled over with the douane, and I said, is it okay if I go over? That's my husband. As part of a house move, you should be allowed to bring your personal possessions. I'm just going to get in the car. And Cleo's not very happy, are you, darling? You should be allowed to bring over your personal possessions and not pay any tax. And he said, yeah, but you have to have filled out a customs form. And on that form, you have to itemise everything you're bringing into the country. And I said, I wasn't aware that there was a form. I said, I did an inventory, a list. You guys saw that on the vlog. I itemised everything in each box. I gave the list to the driver. Because that was the other thing. Once he knew that there was another van of all of our stuff, he said, well, you should have filled out a customs form for that. Well, then he's like, you don't have a carte de séjour, so you're technically visitors, which means you're fine to drive your vehicles, but I will have to tax you on all of their contents. And he said, if this is a second home, I'll be charging you 30% on all of it. So I said, I've got proof that this is not a second home. So I showed him our completion statement from Chippenham. Then I showed him the acte de vente, promesse de vente for our French house. And when he saw that, he said, oh, right, okay, I accept that it's not a second home. If you're resident in France, you're not allowed to drive these cars. These cars have to be taxed. Anyway, he said, you've sort of fallen through the net because you're not residents, but yet you don't own anything in the UK, yet you don't have any paperwork to prove that you're residents in France yet, and you don't have a visa. And I'm like, I know. I said it was so hard. I couldn't submit our business plans without a French address, and I couldn't afford to buy the French property without selling the English one. I said, we have no home right now. We will do at 1 p.m. today, but right now we haven't got anywhere to live, and this is our main residence. We don't plan to work here till we have our VLS TS visa, but we do need to bring all of our stuff down now. We've got nowhere to store it. Anyway, then he starts talking to his mates, and I could hear that his fellow colleagues were trying to be reasonable. So they were like, oh, well, you know, just treat them as visitors for now. But then he's like, well, we have to tax them on the goods. And they're like, well, you know, what if they, you know, come back in 3 months and they've got the visa? Can we give them a refund? Blah, blah, all this going on. Meanwhile, Leon and I just stood there. Anyway, then he comes back over with the customs form that we should have filled out. And he says, do you want to do this in French or in English? Because he spoke good English. And I said, no, we're in France, so we do this in French. And he, like, this massive smile. Because I totally agree that, you know, we're in France. There's a way of doing things. We must abide by that. And I explained to him, we had no intention of doing anything wrong. I said, and he said, have you researched this, that what you're doing? And I said, I've researched to the nth degree. This, I didn't know. I did not know about it. He was reasonable. So we were super grateful to them. They just said, go to the douane, which is the customs office in Agen, which is our prefecture in the Lot-et-Garonne, and take the customs form. So he's given me the customs form. This is what we should have filled out. It's called a CERFA, Déclaration d'entrée en franchise de biens personnels en provenance de pays tiers à EU. So should have filled that out. So he's given me that, and he said to take it to Agen, explain to them exactly what I've explained to the officers and now to you guys. And he said they should be fine. And he said, write up all of your goods on the form and submit it then. Because he said, otherwise, when you try to register your vehicles and get French plates, they will ask you for that form and you won't have it and you won't be able to register them. And then you'll have to pay tax on them. So he said it will hopefully avoid you having to pay if it's part of a house move. He said, and I'll let you on your way. Oh, Leon's back.
Shall I meet you at that service station, or do you want to go ahead without me? Because I struggle to get over 100 kilometres sometimes.
Kilometres an hour?
Huh?
It's up to you. I don't want to arrive at the house without you.
I'll try and stick with you and I'll meet you at the service
We're
station.
doing all right, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'll just explain him what happened.
Oh.
Poor Leon. He ended up on the front line of the douane.
Please.
Even they don't know the rules. He admitted, he was like, even for us, this is a learning curve. Because he's like, oh, you should have a residency card. I'm like, you can't get those straight away. You have to have a long stay first. He's like, oh, yeah, that's true. What? Yeah. He said, welcome to France. We hope you have, enjoy your stay and that you're successful. It was really, really nice. But when we left, I cried buckets all the way out of Roscoff. I could have floated the ferry in my tears. Anyway, that's it for the check-in. Just thought, if you guys are moving here, we have, done so many things right. We've done so many things wrong. So hopefully it's helpful. So we're over halfway, still 3 3/4 hours from our new house. And the clutch on the van has gone right as we pulled into this services. So we've rung the AA and they said they can't recover it from the motorway. So we're just waiting for a guy to come and load it. That's not our man either. He's got another car on there now. Thought our guy had turned up. Unbelievable. Got both of the cats who were fed up. The second time we've been stuck for like loads of time, isn't it?
Well, first thing this morning was awful. We were stuck there for an hour just asking the guys questions, going around in circles.
The bright side is we didn't pay tax on it. Imagine how we'd feel now if we'd just paid 30% and then it breaks.
Wow. Yeah. Running out of money. I think the clutch has been weird for a while. I hadn't noticed it. First judder when I was
Still in the car, but they're gonna get them in a minute.
we went for about 2 hours in France.
Thank you.
And then the pedal didn't come up.
Have you had a great afternoon?
And I was like,
Yeah.
They've had a great
Yeah.
and the gap.
Yeah, should we shut it? Oh, do you want a Corona?
In the moment.